Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my December TBR. So I have a lot of books on my December TBR and honestly I read a lot this month. I think I'm currently at like 7 books in November, which is like a lot for me, or at least recently anyway, it's a lot, but I have been listening to a lot of audiobooks. But today I'm just going to be talking about the physical books that I want to read, the books I currently own that I want to get to in December. So the first book that I would really like to get to in December is Arusha and the End of Time. This is the first book in Roshni Chokski's, it's like kind of like Percy Jackson but Hindu mythology, I believe. It's basically Rick Riordan presents imprint from Disney Hyperion, so it's pretty much down a similar line to Percy Jackson, but it deals with Hindu mythology and the Hindu religion, so I'm very excited for this one. So we obviously follow Arusha, who is our main character, and I believe she kind of stretches the truth or tells a bit of a lie at school, and it just ends up turning to utter chaos, and I'm super excited for this. I think the cover is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. It is stunning and I cannot wait to read this. It's probably the next book I'm going to pick up and I'm just obsessed with this cover and this concept. I think it's going to be absolutely incredible and I can't wait to read it. So the next book on my list is one that I've had for quite a long time and I just haven't got to yet, and that is A Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Hing-wen. This is a young adult, it's contemporary, it's a romance, I believe, and basically we follow our main character Eva, who she wants to be a performer, I believe, and her parents don't share that aspiration for her. They want her to, I believe they want her to be a doctor. I could be making that up, but I'm sure somebody said that her parents want her to go into kind of like medical professionalism career, so she's kind of struggling with her parents' wants for her and her own wishes and desires. They send her to an educational program kind of camp in Taiwan, and she goes to this place and meets a lot of people, and apparently it's infamous for hookups and drama, and I'm just super excited to see how this goes for this character because I hope I really like Eva. I know a lot of people have said that she's a really, really interesting main character to read about, and I think the plot just sounds so interesting. It's a concept that I've not really read too many books about. We don't usually see that many kind of college age characters and young adults, so I'm very excited to read this. And again, it is an absolutely beautiful cover. It's very simple, but at the same time, the amount of detail in this illustration is just phenomenal. It's beautiful, so I'm very excited for this one. So then I have 2 books from the same series. They are again by Roshni Chokski. I feel like I keep saying Chokski when it's just Chokski, but I apologise. I cannot get Chokski out of my head for some reason. But the books are The Star-Touched Queen and A Crown of Wishes. These are fantasies. They are absolutely stunning covers. Again, I love beautiful covers. But yeah, I'm really in the mood for fantasy, so I picked these up. I've heard so many incredible things, and they are kind of old school YA picks, but I've never read them before, and I don't know why. So I'm super excited. Again, I think I'm just going to try and like read all of her books that I own in one go, but I'm very, very excited for these. I'm so in the mood for fantasy and I'm just really, really excited to dive into these and these worlds and meet these characters and just learn so much more about these fantastical worlds that I've heard so much about. So basically the premise, as far as I am aware, is that the main character is made queen of her country. Her father arranges a marriage for political alliances and she is skeptical at first but ends up really, really liking her husband. It's a very happy marriage as far as I know, and when things kind of go downhill in the character's life, in Maya's life, she kind of thinks she's in danger. There's some kind of political drama, I think, going on, maybe fantastical drama, I'm not sure, but she's unsure who other than her new husband she is able to trust to kind of keep her safe and stop whatever she thinks is going to happen from happening to her. That is super vague, but that's all I really know about this. You guys know that fantasy I try and know as little as possible because I want to know the main feel of the story, but I don't like to know too much about the plot or the characters before I go into books, especially fantasy, because I just feel like I enjoy it so much more when I get to experience it as I read rather than having all these preconceptions about a book before I go into it. I tend to struggle when I do that, so yeah, I don't know too much about these books, other than they are super popular, or they were when they came out, and this is just the sort of thing I'm craving at the minute, and I cannot wait to get to it, and I just hope I really enjoy it. So then I have the Dark Academia book. If you guys didn't know, Dark Academia is a massive thing for me. I will leave my blog and everything linked down below where you can check that out. But yeah, Dark Academia is a massive thing for me right now. You're probably not getting that from my outfit right now, but I've been at work all day delivering advent calendars as an elf. I'm freezing, and this is the fluffiest, warmest thing I own, so I don't care. Anyway, the Dark Academia book that I'm hoping to read soon is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is, like I said, the OG, most well-known, most raved about Dark Academia book. It is a murder mystery, I believe. Again, it's something I don't know too much about, other than the fact that it is like Dark Academia in a book. So yeah, I know that it's a college. I know that I'm pretty sure that someone at this college gets murdered and the main characters have to try and figure out what's going on. That's what I think I know, and that's all I know, so I'm super excited to get to this. It's one that I've heard amazing things about. It's one that people talk about constantly, so I'm really hoping I enjoy it. I'm sure I will, and yeah, I'm super excited to get to this and see what I think. But yeah, hopefully I'll get to this soon. It is kind of long. It's like 600 pages, so I don't know if I'll get to it all in December, because as I said, I have a ton of books that I want to read this month, but hopefully I'll get to it in December, and if not, very soon after that, because I'm super excited for this, and it's one that I've been wanting to read for ages. So then I have a book which was actually my most anticipated book for the entire of 2020, and I've not read it yet. And I will explain that the only reason I haven't read this book yet is because it was so highly anticipated, it was such a big deal for me that I'm kind of scared to read it. Like, I don't know if I'm the only person that does this, but if I'm really excited for a book, I will put it off and off and off, because I'm scared that I don't want to put I don't want to get my hopes up too much, but I already do, but also I don't want to it'll be over. Do you know what I mean? If I'm so excited for a book, I don't want to read it, because once I've read it, I've already read it. And I can reread it, of course, but you never get that experience of reading a book for the first time again. So yeah, but anyway, the book is Fable by Adrienne Young. If you've been on my channel for a long time, you'll know, but if you haven't, then Adrienne Young is my favourite YA author. I absolutely adore her writing. Her other books are incredible. I actually met Adrienne last year at Yelk, and it was literally amazing. It was such a good experience, and I've just been waiting for this to come out, and I didn't actually get it when it first came out, because at the time I had just lost my job, we were in lockdown, it was a really stressful situation. I didn't have much money at all, so I never got this, but when I got my first paycheck from my new job, this was one thing that I knew I had to pick up, because as I said, I had been waiting for this book since it was announced, and it's the one book that I wanted to get this year, and I'm super excited for it. I cannot wait to read it, but at the same time, as I said, I'm kind of scared to read it, because once I've read it, I never get that experience of reading it for the first time again, and I know I'm just going to want to fly through this and read it as fast as possible, because I'm so desperate to read it, but at the same time I want to make it last, so it's a real struggle. Let me know if you guys experience this too, because it is a real struggle, but very excited to get to this. It's kind of giving me pirate vibes. It's just, I mean, this cover for a start is beyond beautiful. Like, who designed this? Let me find out. Devon Norman, you are talented, because this is amazing. Like, the amount of detail on this cover is phenomenal. Like, there's individual hairs on her eyebrow that you can literally pick out individual hairs, like the freckles, and in her eye there is the ship. I'm gonna zoom in, see, I'm not zoom in, I'm gonna show you this because it's beautiful. It's literally one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. But anyway, I'm very excited for this. It's, again, her newest release. The sequel is actually coming out in March, I believe, so I'm kind of half tempted to save this until March and then read it when the sequel comes out, and I can read Namesake at the same time, or not the same time, but immediately afterwards. But again, I want to read this immediately, so it's a real struggle, but I'm super excited for this. It sounds amazing. I've heard so many incredible things, and yeah, there is, I believe it was a fairy loot. It's either fairy loot or a Luma crate, or maybe owl crate. One of the subscription boxes, the big ones, basically did a special edition of this. I will put it somewhere, which I again, can't afford them. They're very expensive, these subscription boxes, and I could not afford the box at the time. Like, I knew that this was going to be featured in it, or that it was, but I couldn't afford it at the time. So if anybody has a copy and is selling it, please let me know, because I would love to have a copy of, you know, that special edition. It's absolutely stunning. And hopefully Adrienne will come back to the UK at some point in the next few years. Obviously right now is not going to happen, clearly, but if she does come back in the future, or if maybe I get to go over to America at some point, which I doubt because America is expensive, but anyway, I would love to get that book signed, like that edition and this edition, at some point in the future. So what I'm basically saying is, if you're selling this edition, let me know in the comments, because I want it. So the other thing that I've been really interested in at the minute is murder mysteries and thrillers. I'm not really sure why, because I'm not someone that tends to like that genre. It's something that I usually just, I'm not interested in. But recently I have been. I read, oh god, what was it called? Or I listened to an audiobook for a thriller, like a YA thriller. I can't for the life of me remember what it's called, but I will leave it here. I listened to the audiobook for this while I was working from home a couple of weeks ago, and it's kind of just made me really want to read thrillers, especially YA thrillers. I'm not a huge fan of adult thrillers because they tend to be a bit too freaky in my opinion, but I have been really enjoying YA thrillers especially, so I also would like to get to This Lie Will Kill You by Chelsea Pitcher. This is one that I've heard a lot of good things about. It's one that has mixed reviews, but mostly good reviews, and the reviews that are positive make it sound like something I will really, really enjoy, so I'm hoping to get to this soon. I'm currently reading another YA thriller, which I will talk about hopefully in my wrap up if I finish it this month, but I would love to get to this soon, if not in December, in the next few months, because it just seems so spooky and so cool, and it just seems like something that's going to be really gripping. And the thing I really like about YA thrillers in particular is that they usually just fly by. You can read them so quickly and you get so immersed and so caught up in the plot and the characters and wanting to know what happened, and I just think this will be such a experience to read and try and figure out what is going on. The last book that I'm going to talk about is one that, again, I've had for quite a while. This is a similar sort of thing with Fable. I couldn't afford it when it first came out, so I got it a few months later, but it is Blood and Honey by Shelby Maheron. This is the sequel to Serpent and Dove, which is actually up here. I don't know if you can see that. But I really, really enjoyed the first book. It was so cool. The concept is amazing, the world was amazing, the characters were just spot on, so I'm very excited to get to this sequel. Again, this cover is absolutely stunning. Like, the foiling on this is beautiful, and I'm really excited. It's a bit of a longer one, so it's one that I think I'm gonna have to kind of plan out what I'm reading in December, because for those of you that don't know, I don't know if I've mentioned this in a past video in a vlog or something, I currently have 2 jobs and I'm doing a degree and I'm doing an apprenticeship, so I don't know why I decided that I needed to be doing all of these things at the same time, but yeah, I'm currently working 40 plus hours for my apprenticeship, and obviously also doing coursework. I'm doing uni work on top of that, and I'm working my weekend job, so I'm very busy, which is why audiobooks are my jam at the minute. I'm absolutely obsessed with audiobooks because I can listen to audiobooks while I'm working. I work in an office for my day job, so it's very easy for me to listen to an audiobook and kind of keep myself on a certain level of relaxation while currently working, because the office I work for a gaming company, and obviously with Christmas coming up, it's absolutely ridiculously busy. It is quite stressful for the whole team, and listening to audiobooks gives me a little bit of a distraction while I'm working. Like, not enough that I'm actually distracted from my work, but enough that I'm kind of not feeling super stressed. So audiobooks are a huge thing for me at the minute, but as I said, I have all these physical books that I really want to read, so I think I'm going to have to do a little bit of planning and kind of plan out when I'm going to read these books and how I'm going to fit them all in. But this is one that I would really, really like to get to, because like I said, I really, really enjoyed the first book, and Shelby Maheron's writing is incredible. These characters are just spot on, and I cannot wait to see how the sequel develops from the first book. So those are the main books that I would like to read physically this month. Well, not this month, next month in December. If you guys would like me to do a video of the audiobooks that I want to listen to, definitely let me know, because I can do that. There are a lot of audiobooks on my audio TBR, because obviously I do kind of separate them. I have a TBR on my audiobook apps, so if you'd like to see that video I can definitely do that, if that's something you're interested in. But these are the physical books that I want to read this month. December, next month. So yeah, let me know what you guys are hoping to read in December. I would really like to know. If you've read any of these books, obviously spoiler free, let me know what you thought, if you enjoyed them. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and you'll see me in the next one. Bye guys.